Good morning, everyone. Happy Cinco de Mayo, and welcome to the first edition of Diamonds in the Rough presented by Prospects Live. We're super pumped to be on this platform. It's a long time coming. Finally got it nailed down. I'm your host, Cole Wilcox, joined by always my co-host, Nick Schnell, and our producer, Grayson Shook. We got an awesome interview on the back half of the episode of both minor league pitchers of the year. We got a starting pitcher of the year, Taj Bradley, and reliever of the year, Colby White, in person in our living room in what we like to call Let's Get Tropical, the house on Tropical Avenue. To all our old listeners, thanks for finding the new stream. To all our new ones, buckle up. Let's roll.
Headed down to the neon lights, it's where I want to be, because I'm just trying to make it. I'm just trying to make it. I'm just trying to make it. I'm just trying to make it.
All right, big shout out to my guy Colin Hawk. That was his song, that intro song you guys just heard. He's a country artist. He's from my hometown. And when we were getting this podcast started, I texted him and I said, "Hey man, you got any songs that we could use for the opening?" And he sent us that one. It worked out perfect. So you guys should go check him out on Apple Music. He has music out, Spotify, whatever you prefer. And then his social media, I think all of them are Colin Hawk Music, at Colin Hawk Music. So everybody go give him a like, follow, subscribe, whatever it is. But big shout out to him. Appreciate it.
Beast. Yeah, that song fits perfect.
Oh, yeah.
So I figured we just go around kind of reintroduce ourselves to all the people who haven't heard from us. Like I said, I'm Cole Wilcox, pitcher with the Rays. I'm currently rehabbing Tommy John surgery. Went to school at the University of Georgia, as you can see by my shirt if you're watching on YouTube. And we talk a lot about different sports on here, so you'll hear that mixed in. We mostly baseball, but we mix it in. We're kind of sports junkies here. Schnelly?
Yeah, I'm Nick Schnell, and I was drafted out of high school in 2018 by the Rays. So I've been a part of the Rays since the get-go in my career. I'm an outfielder. And yeah, like Cole said, I don't even know what else to say, but
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's all.
That's who I am. That's what I do. I'm a freaking new dad.
Summarize it.
And yeah, I play baseball. I'm a dad and I play baseball for the Rays. That's who I am and what I do.
Shooker?
Yeah, so I'm Grayson Shook. I produce the podcast. Cole and I went to high school together, grew up together, elementary school, middle school, went to school together, played ball together growing up. And so whenever they were kicking around the idea of starting this podcast, I kind of volunteered as tribute to assist them, help them get rolling. And it's been a blast so far. And just looking forward to it, man.
Which was big time because I really didn't think about that. I was like, I can handle this. And then like once you started going, I was like, I could not have handled this. So it worked out perfect. Shook's a baseball guy. So he was fired up to do it. And we've been lucky to have him because it's been really good. Let's talk about how the podcast started. So for those of you who don't know, me and Shelly both got hurt around the same time last year. We were both in Charleston. And so we're coming back down here to Port Charlotte, Florida. And if you've never been to Port Charlotte, Florida, there's a reason you've never been, because nobody vacations here. So there's really not that much to do. And we were coming home from the field. You're done at noon when you're rehabbing.
The median age here is 97. So
yeah, you'll see. We've played bingo. Like we've hit up the town like essentials, but
yeah.
It does run out pretty quick. So it was during football season. We were watching a lot of like college football podcasts and stuff like that. And we were like, dang, that'd be a pretty fun job. It's talk sports, chalk it up. We're like, we should start one. And it was kind of a joke because we had absolutely no plan or idea of what we were going to do. We were actually betting on horses at the time. And
shout out Hasty Lady,
which we have absolutely no background and no knowledge of. We'd pull up the streams of the horse races, watch the horses warm up, pick which one was the most athletic, and throw $5 on it. And that was how we spent our time. So we're like, hey, we could do a horse racing podcast. we wouldn't even know how much money we'd win. Like when the horse would finish, we'd be like updating our account. I'm like, okay, let's see. What are we at? We'd have no clue. Anyway, back on topic. We were talking about, I remember we were trading stories in the cafeteria one day and somebody was telling some funny story. And I was just thinking like, dang, like nobody ever hears this type of stuff. Like when you're on an interview, you're pretty professional. Like you're not gonna be telling this type of stuff. So I got to thinking, like, between me and Schnelly, like we have so many connections. The baseball world's pretty small, and if you've been around the game for a while, like you know a lot of the guys who are, especially your age, and any guys you've played with. So that's kind of what we started. We just wanted to be like a locker room talk, kind of talk about some behind the scenes stuff of what goes into getting to where you are and all that. And it's been great so far. And I don't know about you, Schnelly, but I feel like I've learned a lot personally just about the process myself, just by talking to people.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, everybody has a different path. It's crazy. Like you think that you've heard or seen it all, especially, I mean, I've been in pro ball a little bit longer. So like, I felt like I'd heard and seen everything, but every time someone comes on here, I feel like a new story comes up or they have a perspective on something that I really hadn't thought of in that way. So. Yeah.
And it really worked out perfect because obviously I'm a pitcher, Schnell's a position player. So you get both sides. I went to college. Schnell came out of high school, and it's been cool because we've both been able to relate to people in different ways and ask different questions that the other one wouldn't be able to ask. And we've learned everything about Bobby Witt's tires getting stolen in Arizona to Wainwright blowing off Greg Maddox in the weight room when he was a rookie. So we've had some really good stories on here and can't wait for y'all to hear them. So I guess we'll kind of transition into that, talk about the schedule a little bit. We are going to – the plan for now is to drop new episodes every Wednesday. And then I think we have like – Shook, you might know. We have like, 26, 27 episodes recorded right now?
27.
That have been released. So I think we're going to release those periodically, or I guess every week, but on Saturdays. So we'll have kind of like a flashback. Just so y'all can hear some of those interviews. I mean, we've had some really, really good guests on. I don't want those to go to waste. And so we're going to do new ones on Wednesday, old ones Saturday. So getting a double dosage of us. You know, if it's too much, just do one a week. Just ease into it. You got to get accustomed to it. But yeah, that's kind of the how we met and how we started the story. And then, like we said, Shook jumped on at the right time. I think we released it on Twitter. Like we had a good idea. We wanted to do it. Kind of got some feedback, and then Shook texted me. I was like, yeah, that actually works out perfectly. So boom. We've been doing it for, it's nuts. I think it's like 7 months now.
Yeah, no, when you said that, I was just thinking about it. We've been doing it for a minute. And I was also, what just came to my mind is when we posted whether we should do it or not, I'm pretty sure we had like, how many people vote? 800 and something?
So yeah, I don't even that much.
No?
I
thought it was something crazy like that.
I think it's about 400.
It's less crazy than what I thought. I was like, dang, we had 800 people say we should do it, and we don't get that many listens. That's kind of messed up.
Absolutely trolled us on Twitter.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up.
Yeah, that is messed up. There might be a way you can go look at who voted and start DMing people.
Well, no, I'm about to go check the tweet and see how many votes we had because I feel like it was higher than that.
It might have been. I could be wrong, but yeah, it doesn't feel like we've been doing it that long. Even when I'm like DMing people, trying to get them to come on, I'm like, hey, me and Nick Schnell just started a podcast. And I always catch myself lately. I'm like, we did not just start. We have a podcast and it's freaking established. So
yeah,
I don't have to act that we need them to up and come because we've had Adam Wainwright on.
When did we start this? It was
we were still here. So it was
September,
October.
Yeah,
it was right before I left.
The end of October.
We did one.
Yeah, it was October because then I left the next week.
First episode was October 28th, I think, 2021.
Okay.
Bro, I was just scrolling through your Twitter and I was just going because I figured it'd be a while before I found it. I'm in 2015. I'm looking at your tweets from 2015. You're not much of a tweeter.
I don't know, dude. I kind of get after on Twitter. That's what I was going to say too. So we did this, like a big thing of this podcast is to relate with the fans and like kind of give them an insight to what we go through that you don't usually see and some of the stories like, so we like to interact with fans on social. There's a good chance if you tweet at me, I'm going to tweet back. Like it's part of the game. Like I think people kind of look at athletes as as a different breed of human almost, whereas we're like so robotic. We're only working out. We're only at the field working out and sleeping. But I mean, we're normal folks. I mean, I scream at the TV when the dogs are on, when the Hawks are playing. Like I'm a sports fan just like you guys. I just happen to play one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just hit me up on Twitter. I'll hit back. And I think we're gonna do some Q&As on this. So it'll be good. We're excited to get the ball rolling. And let's talk a little baseball before we get to Taj and Colby, which was an awesome interview, by the way. Like I've been holding this has been kind of hard because I've been trying to get this out.
Yeah.
For starters, Colby White is a character. He's free entertainment wherever he goes. It's
Yeah.
awesome. And Taj was also on the interview too, and he told some things I really didn't know about him, talking about how he really didn't start pitching until he was 17 years old. But yeah, they both had incredible years last year. We both started with them in Charleston, and Colby was punching out something ridiculous, like 17.
Let's just say when I was in the outfield and Colby was pitching, I could have sat my glove down and freaking sat crisscross applesauce out there. And
about a month in, Taj got the same way.
Yeah.
He was punching out like 11 every time he stepped on the mound. Yeah, it was fun to watch. And those guys are big leaguers. Unfortunately, since the interview, Colby White's had Tommy John surgery, which really sucks. But he'll probably come back throwing jet fuel.
Yeah.
So I'll work out.
As if he wasn't already.
Yeah. So the story. Yeah, I think I told on the interview. So we'll just leave it there. Speaking of jet fuel, let's dabble in some college baseball. What Ben Joyce is doing at the University of Tennessee, right-handed reliever. Like at first it was cool. It was like, oh, dude, this guy throws 100. Like he's up to 102. He's throwing straight gas, but it's like, he's coming in for an inning and just blowing it up, fresh off TJ. Like he's got a new toy. He's playing with it. It was just cool. What he did last weekend was downright ridiculous. He went 4 innings, threw 33 fastballs over 103, and topped out at 105.5. He's the hardest thrower on the planet to ever live.
False. There's been a fastball thrown harder than that.
Who?
Aroldis Chapman threw a pitch 106.
I don't think so.
Yes, I saw it. It literally said the second highest pitch recorded in baseball history. Second of all, 416 people voted. Just found the tweet. And 416. So we're probably right around that on listens.
Yeah.
So we didn't get screwed too bad by everybody. But no, I saw it. I'll look it up. It said the second hardest pitch recorded. Also, I'm pretty sure that it's like not confirmed because the radar guns were all messed up, but I think Nolan Ryan threw a pitch harder than that too.
Yeah, that's debated, but
yeah, I know. I don't.
Through 105.8.
Yeah.
Either way, this dude is doing ridiculous things. He did it for 4 innings last week. He was throwing 103 in the 4th. That is absolute flames. And
dude, that's crazy. 105.
It's so hard.
105.5.
I don't care if it's the flattest fastball ever thrown. 105, you can't see it.
No. You can't see 100. People are always like, there's not that big of a difference after you get to 95. Yes, there is.
Yeah.
There's a difference between 95 and 100.
The same difference between 90 and 95.
Yeah.
If you break it down, get real mathematical with it. The thing that pisses me off the most about this guy,
flicking my wrist.
Yeah. The thing that pisses me off most about this guy, and I think I tweeted it out when he first kind of busted on the scene. The first comment under there is like TJ. Like, no, freaking douche. He just had TJ. He's got a brand new UCL. He's throwing gas. I don't know why is it that when people see a guy throwing a baseball really hard, their first thing that comes to their mind is, he's going to get injured. Not, this is super cool. He's throwing fastballs harder than most guys have ever driven their car.
Yeah. I mean,
you ever drove about 105?
It's all like, I feel like, yeah, I have.
Really?
Yeah.
In a Jag?
135, yeah.
Where?
And the back roads in Illinois on my way to Thanksgiving.
135.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
I think my dad got like 110 in it. My dad got like 110 and my mom was freaking out. And I go, pull over. And I said, I want to drive. She
was
said,
tripping.
you never do that again. I said, all right, I've done it. So I don't need to do it again. It's
That's
just straight
insanity.
road. I remember there's a train track on our left and it was just like horizontal with the road. And I was freaking getting it.
That's insanely fast.
Yeah, it was honestly scary. I was 2 hands on the wheel for sure.
Yeah, if you hit a pothole, you're in the field.
Yeah. It probably wasn't smart. My dad was freaking giggling. My mom was so mad.
All right. Anyway, what were you even saying?
uh
We're talking about people who just look at somebody and say, that's
yeah,
cute.
I was gonna say, like, I just feel like it comes with like anything. Like I don't know, maybe not. I feel like baseball, like someone hits a ball like 600 feet and somebody's like steroids.
Yeah.
Or like hits a crazy shot and they're like, it's lucky. Like it's never like they're just an impressive human being.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know.
Steph Curry hits 12 threes in a game. He was wide open for 8 of them.
Yeah.
Well,
you always have to justify it with a negative, which makes no sense. Like, I was trying to explain that to somebody the other day. It might have been my fiance, Kinsey. I don't think it was though. But anyway, it was like, why do you like watching sports? Like, I don't like going to concerts personally, but I understand why people like going to concerts. It's because you're watching someone do something really cool in their field. It's an art. When I watch basketball, when I watch football, when I watch baseball, to a lesser extent because we play, so it's not as like mind blowing to me always. But like some of the things that are done on a court and on a football field, I'm like, this is art. Like these guys are legitimately artists in their field. And I don't understand why people have to justify it with a negative. Oh, it's TJ. Yeah. Like they screw you.
Yeah.
Why
also, that's just a horrible thing to put on
it is. It's the worst.
A 20-year-old kid.
Yeah, that's drop the gloves at this point. After going through it, we're dropping the gloves. Somebody says TJ.
We're freaking mad bumming it.
Yeah, if you wish TJ, we're dropping them. And let's talk about the pitch clock. A heavily debated topic on Twitter right now is the pitch clock. And it seems to have gone like a little more overboard than they probably wanted it to. Yeah. I would guess. I would guess that when they implemented the rule, it was more just to speed up the game, which it has.
Yeah.
And
then umpires got freaking power hungry.
Yeah, not so much punching people out when they're not stepping in the box. That's
dude,
outrageous.
Someone's gonna have to remind me before I go up to hit a couple times, like for the first week or so. Like, hey, just like keep it in the back of your mind, like get in the box like pretty quickly. Because I like, especially if like I take a swing or I swing through a pitch or something, I like stepping out of the box, like gathering myself, kind of like, I don't know, either visualizing like what's going to be next or like just kind of going through my plan in my head. Like, okay, like he's attacking me with this and this and this. What's he going to attack me with now? Like, what am I hunting? Or like, I just go through my checklist, you know what I mean? And then I'm going to get ready. Like sometimes I want to take a little bit longer. And like, also I'm pretty sure it's like a proven fact that like sometimes pitchers, like for a pitcher, if I was a pitcher, if you wait, like, I think it's 15 seconds in between pitches, it's physically impossible for the brain to recognize what you saw last. So like your brain can't like, you know, as a hitter, like you see something and you're like, oh, if I see that again, like I'm going to tag it. If you give 15 seconds, it's impossible for your brain to recognize what you just saw because it happens so fast. And so you can't, like, a hitter's like brain and body can't like be prepared for. You can be prepared for it.
I've never heard that in my life.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll take your word on it, but I've never heard that in my life.
I forget who and how. Who told me that?
Anyway, pitch clock.
It's all the same.
Reminded.
Yeah. Well, it's all at the same
what that boils down to.
Like, I feel like, okay, I guess maybe I thought I literally learned that here, but I guess I must have learned it before that. Like, I feel like that could be used to the pitcher's advantage, which is part of playing the game and being a competitor. Also,
I don't know. I don't mind it with nobody on base. Like, sure. Like, let's go. Nobody's on base. There's no reason to be walking around. Like, come on. I don't think it should be so strict. Like, I think it should be like hey, let's try to do this in 14 seconds. Like if you're just repeatedly not doing it, then there should be a consequence. Like if you throw it in 15 seconds one time, that shouldn't be a ball. Like it should be highly encouraged, not a strict mandate. But the one on base is ridiculous. Like a pitcher, like one of the things, you're a base stealer.
If it gets to 1 second, I'm freaking
You're gone. And a pitcher holding a ball is a big deal, right? To stop you to get in rhythm. And like, think about it. You're sitting there, a runner's sitting there getting flat-footed, pitcher sitting there holding the ball. You're not going to get as good of a jump. We in college, we literally had a sign where it was hold the ball to the hitter calls Tom. I'd sit there all day if he didn't call Tom. Like it was just, it's part of the strategy is holding the ball. And I'm a guy who doesn't really like to pick off. Like I don't like it at all. I'm not super quick to first, and I'll do it to keep them there, but I'd rather hold the ball to do it. So that kind of takes away
till the ball
strategy.
This is bad because we're literally talking about it. And I'm about to ask what the actual is it till the ball is released or until you come set?
It's
don't know.
until you start your motion.
So like the lift of the leg or as he's coming set.
So when the pitcher comes set and then lifts his leg, the clock shuts off.
Okay.
So, yeah, long leg lift.
So
yeah, I don't like the part on first base or on base. But if you want a really, really good thread of somebody who's been pitching with it, look up Tucker Davidson on Twitter. He had a very good
thread.
A very good thread. I think I retweeted it with our page, but it made a whole lot of sense that he's coming at it from both ways. Very well said. So if you need some context on somebody who's actually pitched with it, or people who haven't even played on it yet.
Because as much as like there's those like the bad things about it, like the fact that the game sped up, because there's nothing worse than playing extra inning game or something like that that's been taken. We've played it last year in Charleston. We played in a couple like 4.5 hour games.
I agree to an extent, but a lot of those long games come from like walks. Like it's not really like, this pitcher's taking forever to throw the ball. Now some are, and I agree. Like you should get on the mat, especially with nobody on base. Like you should get the ball out within 15 seconds.
I also will say this as a hitter, I hate when a pitcher works fast. Like I'll be calling time. I'll be like, I feel like it's to a hitter's disadvantage.
And when you're in the field, what do you like?
I like it moving fast because I don't.
So it works fast. Yeah, that's. Working fast should be to your advantage as a pitcher, but working fast when somebody's on base is going to lead to the bag stolen on you.
Yeah,
which I had trouble with, especially in college, because I just wanted to go, like I wanted to pitch. But that's a huge part of the game is holding runners and
all
stuff.
The new rules are interesting. Like the bigger base, I'm all for that. Like I actually am. Like I think that's actually really smart. The shifts, I think you should be able to shift if you think that that is going to help you win a baseball game. That is just being smart and doing it. So if I'm a lefty hitter and all I do is pull the baseball, they should be able to put 8 dudes over there if they want to. Yeah,
and like we've talked about this before, it's like telling a defense they can only run cover 3 in football. Yeah. No cover 2, or you got to have a nickel. You have to have 5 DBs on the field. It's like it's a strategy.
Or only playing a zone in basketball.
Yeah, I hate that. I think that is ridiculous. And the only people that are promoting that are hitters that are getting hurt by the shift, but that's like a kind of a selfish way of looking at it, in my opinion.
What else are some new rules? Oh, the pickoff, dude. That I'll tell you. I feel bad for pitchers for that because last year in Charleston, I got at least 4 or 5 bags because they would pick off, and I was like, not coming over. And I would just be like, gone.
So low A rules, for those who don't know, what we were at, you could only pick off twice in a at bat?
Yeah, twice.
So if you came over once, if you wanted to come over again, you had to pick them off, or it was a balk. So if you picked off once, the hitter just got a huge lead, and they're forcing you like, all right, come over here. If you think you can get me, come over here. Because if you didn't, it's a balk, and then they would just steal. There was one guy. One dude literally balked in a run from first base without throwing a pitch. It was actually hilarious.
Yeah.
So he'd already picked off once. He tries to pick off again, doesn't get him. And I think it was like without even throwing a pitch to the hitter yet. So he gets the second. He goes through like a lot of the at-bat. I think it's a pretty long at-bat. Turns around, tries to pick him off at second. thinking that it's 2 per base, but no, it's per at bat. So they send him to third. He gets on the mound in the windup, realizes he's in the windup, needs to be in the stretch, steps off. That counts as a pickoff. Run scores. I was like, dang, man, just gave up a freaking run without throwing pitches, really.
What do you think about the 6-game series instead of the 3 or 4 game series?
Freaking
Well,
awesome.
You never really did the 3 or 4 game series, did you?
No, but I can imagine it's freaking awesome. The 6-game series are elite.
The only and it helps hitters because you're seeing the guys multiple times, especially the pen. And at this point, like everybody just uses. I mean, starters just start the game, but they act as like relievers at this point, unless you got like a freaking stud. I mean, guys are only throwing 3-4 innings, and then you got 4 or 5 other guys you've seen 6 pitches.
Yeah, it's just easier. It's just easier on the players. I mean,
yeah,
you're not traveling so much. You're not staying in hotels so long, and like I know the major leagues do it, but it's a little bit different scale of traveling and housing.
Yeah, let me hop on a plane. Did you see that Haye flew to New York?
I did see him at the airport. That's kind of sick.
Yeah, it's sweet. Good for the minor leagues doing that.
Heck yeah.
18-hour bus rides are not fun.
No, contrary to popular belief, they're not great. Anything else?
Trying to think. I think there was one other thing I wanted to bring up, but now I'm forgetting because we got on the new rule topic. Yeah, well, we have a lot of segments we like to do on here. So we'll get those mixed in as we go on, and I'm sure you'll hear some on Saturdays too, some old ones. It'll be fun to go back and hear some of our horrendous takes on upcoming sporting events and stuff like that. When we post the ones on Saturday, we've recorded in October, and we're talking about after Georgia just got housed by Alabama in the SEC championship, what I had to say. So I'm sure you'll hear some good takes, and we'll sound like complete morons. But I remember what I was gonna say. I was just gonna plug the Instagram for us. We'll have the edit on here, won't we, Shook?
Yep.
Yeah, so you guys will, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see our Instagram and our Twitter at the bottom somewhere. But our Instagram is Diamonds in the Rough Pod, all spelled out, and then our Twitter is, do you know it off the top of your head, Cole?
At DNR Pod.
There we go. So give us a follow. We try and put out content pretty consistently. I think we're gonna start getting a little bit better about that. If you guys freaking see any videos or anything that you guys want us to do reactions to, send them our way on Twitter. If you guys want to freaking do some engaging with us,
honestly,
go ahead.
if you see anything that you ever want us to do, we're probably not going to say no.
Yeah.
So just send it to the inbox, and we'll figure it out. Like I said, I'll be here pretty much the rest of the year. Schnelly hopefully is playing on a team soon, but I have plenty of time, so send it to me. Right before we get an interview, Nick Schnell, new father. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a big time step for your maturity. As like you said, it's
maxed
now far
now.
surpassed me. And
It's maxed. You can't be any more mature than what I am right
What about
now.
a grandchild?
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
that's as wise as it gets.
Let's hope
Great
that's a ways away.
grandchild.
yeah, I mean, that's at least, if he's on the same track as me, when I'm a grandfather, I will be 44 years old.
That's nuts too.
Yeah, that is crazy. I thought about that the other day. I'll be
That's
a 44-year-old grandpa if he literally goes through the same.
But I think you said, if you want to see little Bo, he's on our Instagram. But everything went well throughout the whole process.
Yep, everybody's healthy. Everybody's good. I miss him, but that's really, I mean, it's all part of it. It's part of getting the opportunity to make a dream come true. You got to sacrifice some things, and the 6 weeks that I'm not going to be able to spend with him now, hopefully I have a long career in the big leagues, and I get to make up for that time missed when he's playing baseball in high school or something, and I get to go to his games, or in college or pro ball, and I'm able to go watch him play. He's going to be able to grow up in a baseball clubhouse and be around the guys,
sick.
Which is cool. So
That is awesome.
there's some sacrifices, but it's also it's the greatest feeling in the world. So
He's definitely not gonna not be swagged out. That's for sure.
No. Yeah, Cole, I get a FaceTime from Carly today, and Cole sent us a trio of Georgia onesies. And honestly, they're pretty sick. Like,
yeah.
I'll say this, Carly's best friend got us a IU one, and he will wear the Georgia one before he wears an IU one. That is for sure.
Yeah, you got to raise them right, man. You got to raise them dogs. You got to start breeding them.
He needs some freaking Illinois gear. I don't know what his freaking grandpa's doing. His grandpa's the one that got my brother and I to be Illinois fans, and he ain't even got him any Illinois gear.
Some people aren't committed to it, man.
You know what? After this is over, I'm going to call him. That's BS.
All right. Well, we'll get y'all over the interview. Like we said at the beginning, we're excited to be on this platform now, and hopefully you guys enjoy what we do. If not, DM us and tell us why you don't. We try to fix it. We're athletes. We adjust on the fly.
Or we'll tell you to.
Yeah, we take kick rocks.
Yeah. No, we won't do that. We love constructive criticism. And you guys will also learn this. This is just a little more insight on Cole and I. I'm the brains behind the operation.
Yeah.
Yeah. The business.
I'm pretty much the most intelligent person maybe ever.
I hear Cooper back there cackling in the background.
No,
quiet down.
He ain't. He's over there freaking FaceTiming Emma or something.
Yeah, he needs to relax.
Yeah,
now
he's
for sure.
cackling.
For sure, Snelly is definitely the brains behind this. He negotiates the deals. He's in the war room for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got, like I said, we got exciting stuff coming up. Check out our socials. Check out the YouTube. We'll have our own little section on Prospects Live. We produce some ridiculous content. Snelly's broke the 100-meter blindfold record. For those of you who don't know, we have
world record holders.
So
I just ate
a
48 ounce steak tonight. So
that is true. He's literally sweating in the screen right now.
Yeah,
that thing was giant.
Yeah,
I've never seen a 48-ounce steak in my life.
I didn't finish. The place had pretty good food. The steak was, I give it a freaking 5.8 out of 10 though.
Yeah, I do candy reviews too. And so if you have any candy you want reviewed, I'll do it.
We do everything. Yeah, I'm thinking about it now. We are literally jack of all trades.
Yeah, that's true. We're like social media handyman.
You want us to talk basketball?
Handyman.
Basketball. We're a baseball podcast, but basketball.
I was watching football film today.
Candy. Food.
You're right. You're freaking right. We do it all. Let's get you over the interview because it's awesome. I've been teasing you with it. But we will see y'all again next week. And like we always say, stay sparkly. All right, we now welcome on two special guests. First time live. So this could go one of two ways. If it's a complete disaster, just tell us. We'll never do it again. But we got two pitcher of the years. Taj Bradley, Colby White. What's going on, boys?
Not much. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, good deal.
Anytime. Now, Colby, this is just a message I got from your boys in Mississippi. They say ever since you got this award, it went to your head and your clothes got a little tighter. So you started wearing some skinny jeans.
No. The thing is, my boys got ball pants shorter than these shorts. They don't even go under their knees. So I don't know who you talked to about that one, but I hope it gets back.
It sounds like you're calling somebody out specifically there.
Yeah, it might be the one that told you that. I don't know.
Okay. Well, congrats to both of y'all on the awards. Awesome years from both of y'all. I want to start with you, Todd, real quick, because obviously all four of us were on the same team in Charleston, and I don't know about y'all, but like once we got there, you could kind of tell we were just better than everybody. Like, not to sound extremely arrogant. Did y'all kind of feel that when the teams were decided, or was it like after a few games?
Like as an affiliate or just as players?
Just like our team, we just felt like we could like kind of overpower the other teams in that level.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was the first game, wasn't it? Like Schnell hit a bomb. Yeah, like 3 or 4 bombs that game. And
yeah.
I don't know. It's just exciting. I don't know.
Yeah.
But just even the atmosphere. Like, even if we weren't good, you can tell the fans were better than any other affiliate.
Yeah.
But just the fact that we were better than every other team, it was just.
Yeah, if it was 6-0 in Myrtle Beach, it was kind of.
Yeah, it was like I'd never played affiliated ball before, but I don't know. Just when I saw the team, I was like, this seems pretty talented for a low A team. But I want to talk about like kind of your start there. Like obviously your stuff speaks for itself, but your first outing like kind of got hit around a little bit.
It was rough.
Yeah. So what happened over like the next? Because it was like what? Like your second outing got a lot better, and then it was like after that, just cruise control. What clicked? Was there something that clicked in the middle of those starts that like you just carried on through the rest of the year?
Yeah, it was like more of a mentality. Like my first inning, that first start, 3 up, 3 down, fine, okay. I go back out this next, somebody gets a hit, now I'm being too refined and taking some off. Now they're, just tearing it up a little bit, seeing it more. And then, I don't know, I just figured, I talked to RC, he was just saying, like, throw some fuck you at the hitters, and, that's all you got to do, just have that intent behind it.
Yeah.
I just took it from there, and then everything else just got easier.
Yeah, and like when you talk about confidence, is that because for me, I feel like obviously the biggest confidence boost you can get is from a hitter. Like you have a really good outing, your confidence goes up. But coming off an outing like that, is that like a decision you had to make, like in between outings? It was just like a mentality change, like, all right, I know my stuff's good, I'm gonna go act like it. Or do you think it had more to do with like kind of building your outings, getting better each time?
I think it's just trusting your stuff.
Yeah.
Like you feel like, okay, you do have the stuff, but is your mental enough to like force it on people,
Yeah.
Like sometimes just being too humble in baseball. Like this game is all about being humble, and then sometimes you take away from your ability, and then you're just average, or you're lowering yourself to other people's level. Just believe in your stuff, take away some of that humbleness off the field, or when you're on the field and just just dominate.
Yeah, flipping a switch in between the lines.
Yeah, you can be a good teammate outside the lines, but when you're in them, you're there like in a dogfight,
Yeah.
There's definitely a line where, like, you've got to have a little bit of arrogance to you when you take the mound.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of people come across a certain way. Like a lot of people talk about Trevor Bauer when he's on the mound, kind of the stuff that he does, and like it is out there, but at the same time, like that's how he does. That's kind of how he gets it.
Just however you're able to compete at a high level,
Everybody's
Some people
different.
You may not like it, some people may not like it, but I mean, if you're competing at a high level, who cares?
Like, I guess Colby's on the flip side. You don't show much emotion out there.
Yeah.
Is that something you've always been like?
Well, I think so much crazy stuff that it's just like if it comes out, it wouldn't be good.
Yeah, I try to keep a straight face on the mound.
Yeah.
Inside my head, I'm like,
I've always tried to hold it in because, like, I feel like I ride the adrenaline throughout the game. Like, I make a big strikeout in the second inning, I carry that through the rest of my outing.
right.
When people and some people can do it, but like if I say I just let it all out on a strikeout in the second inning, like I walk bases loaded, get 3 punch outs, and on the third punch out, I just let it all out. Then I go to the dugout and it's like, all my adrenaline's down. Like it's like I let it all out and I got to build it back up. But if I keep it in, I just ride it out. Y'all feel that way at all?
Yeah, but that's how I see college ball, though.
A lot of emotion.
It's like first inning, you strike out the side.
Mhm.
Everybody's amped. Like
Yeah.
a home run. I mean, a home run's it's exciting, but it's like a home run in a game that's not really defining it. It's like everybody's out on the field and stuff like that. I guess that's just a different atmosphere, though.
Yeah, I saw that happen a lot in college. And Colby, college is a different game. Like a lot of emotions in college game. But I remember one time, and I'll call Emerson out because he's my boy. But Emerson was pitching against Florida State, second game of the regional, and our coach had kind of been messing around with him. He didn't show any emotion when he pitched, really. And he was like, "Man, I want you to show some emotion out there sometime." Well, he froze Mendoza, who went I think second round that year. Really good left-handed hitter from Florida State. He froze him inside in like a 98 to strike out the first inning. Stared at their dugout and said something. We were like, he didn't say something in their dugout? He came in, sat down, and was all pumped up. And our coach walked over to him and he's like, "Hey, Emerson, what are you doing? Like, this ain't you." He's like, just keep calm pitches, keep calm. He was just so locked in. And then I was like, that's not him. And then I feel like his energy kind of died after that. But that's what I'm always like, I don't know. I just want to keep it in instead of just letting it out mid-game and then losing it all.
It's all about who you are.
No,
Yeah, we see some of that stuff can be taught though too.
Yeah.
Like, some people are just fired up. Like Terrio,
Yeah.
Terrio's fired up
Some people ride off
as soon as he gets
letting
in
it
there.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is different for everybody.
Some people try to force that emotion though. Too.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, and you can tell too.
Yeah.
You can always tell when somebody's forcing it. Colby, I want to talk about some of your stats in low A specifically, because how many long were you there? Like a month and a half?
5 weeks.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
5 weeks. It was like the most dominating 5 weeks ever.
Unbelievable.
You and Trevor Brigden. And we bring y'all out like 8-9 ball game. So some of these stats, you were giving up, you had a .55 whip to start with. You were striking out 19.8 per 9. And your strikeouts to walk was 36. Did you just feel like you were punching everybody out?
He was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I never really even thought about it, honestly. Like people would say something to me and I would think about it, but I'd just like kick it out because I was so focused on mixing and sliders and getting.
Yeah.
And it was like, as a result of that, I got to realizing when I don't strike a guy out, it's because I threw him a slider.
Yeah.
So I'm going to quit doing that. You know?
Give him the heater, baby.
Yeah, just like eventually something's
Mississippi
going to
heat.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny because the hitters would get irritated because our pitching coach, RC, he was trying to get you to develop a slider. Like that was.
I was on his head about
Yeah,
it.
that was your next step to get it moved up. Like you needed the slider, punch people out with it. You dominate a guy, get him 0-2, throw him a slider, and they like flare one up the middle. All the hitters would run back in and be like, "Why are you throwing sliders? Just throw a fastball." I'm like, he can't just throw fastballs the rest of his life. He's got to have another pitch.
He
But
couldn't low A.
Yeah, he absolutely could have.
I looked at RC. I was like, RC, he's throwing 99 at the top of the zone with 27 inches. What are we doing calling sliders?
Well, I think RC thought I was saying something about it one time. I was like, dude, I didn't even.
I find him in kangaroo court.
That's what it was. He's
Yeah.
looking at me. I was like, I didn't say that.
Yeah,
Not him for making those sliders.
I find him for calling sliders when Colby's on the mound. I remember I'd be out in the outfield and Colby came in and I could have taken my glove off and taken the knee and just watched him.
Yeah.
There was no chance. Every single time I was like, all right, 9 pitches, I can get to be back in the dugout.
16 innings, 36 strikeouts. That's unbelievable. Batters faced 60, punched out 36 of them. Yeah,
As
it was
loose
impressive.
as can be.
Yeah,
I felt like that was so fun.
we did have a good group.
Yeah.
That first month in Charleston was like, it was some of the most fun I've had playing baseball, honestly. Just because, like you said, it was so loose.
Yeah.
Got a lot of good stories there. We're actually just talking about one. So Colby, you were drafted the 5th round, right? 6th round, reliever. You played 1 year, and like you weren't considered like a top prospect going into last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't say. And you're always telling me like they don't even know who I am, and I'm like, dude, save it, bro. Like they know who you are. Well, there was a high up one day in Charleston. Tell him what he said when you walked up and started talking to him.
So I walk up, and I can't remember who he's talking to. And then he looks at me and goes, "Who the hell are you?" I'm like, well, shit, I gotta explain this one.
He thought you were running the track man or something.
Yeah, I didn't know who it was. I was like, I had a glove on though. I was like, hell, I should get a hint. You know? At least I'm here, you know.
Yeah, he's only the guy freaking punching out in 19.8 per 9. That's good stuff though. And then next thing you know, you're in Durham. So he figured out who you were pretty quick. But like, at what point did you know? Like, okay, at what point when you got moved up did you know that like they really valued you at this point?
When I guess when I got called up from AA, because I was there 3 weeks, and then they literally put me in a ball game with my family there. That we was up by like 6 or 7 or something like that. I wasn't even supposed to pitch that day, and then I got called up that night. So they were just wanting me to pitch. It seemed like they were just throwing me out there so my family would see. And then I got called up, and I was like, you know, they could have just left me here the rest. I mean, there's like 2 weeks left in the year, but they called me up. It seemed like they called me up for a reason, you know. And then, but yeah, I mean, it was. That's when I kind of started realizing it was like normal orgs. I feel like would just leave you there and say finish out the year, no matter what your numbers are. Just so.
Yeah. Before we get going any further in minor league stuff, I wanted to kind of throw it back a little bit. Colby, you went JUCO out of high school, correct?
I did.
Give a shout out to your JUCO. Where'd you go?
Pearl River Community College.
Pearl River.
The River.
Y'all can play a little bit?
They're number 1 in D2 right now, JUCO. So they're doing pretty good.
That's big time. What's the biggest thing you learned there?
Biggest thing is learning how to compete no matter how I feel. You know, like a lot of guys will say, "Oh, I don't feel good. It's not gonna be a good day." Or obviously at this level, you don't see it. I feel like you don't see it as much. But like in high school and then in college, you'll start seeing those guys that just really didn't know how to go out there without their best stuff and get outs. And
Yeah.
then my coaches at Pearl River just kind of let me realize you're not going to feel good majority of the time, but if you can go out there and find a way, that's what's going to make you a good pitcher, not the times that you feel great, you know. And just learning to compete like that was a big thing, and it was a big culture change because workloads were higher, and learning how to manage my body was a big thing too.
Yeah. They rode you like Seabiscuit, huh?
I was Seabiscuit freshman year. So.
That's why I told you, yeah, it don't matter how you feel, you just gotta go get outs for us. 130 pitches later, you're like, Coach, I really don't feel that good.
Yeah, I don't like this anymore, Coach.
Was there any like that? What was the most pitches you threw in an outing?
Oh, I don't think they ever let my pitch count run too much, but I would throw often.
Yeah.
Like it'd be like on short rest, I would throw, which I was fine with it.
Yeah.
You know, even a little tenderness, I was like, well, this is what I come here to do is to pitch. Ain't no fun watching on the bench, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like, luckily nothing happened.
Did you
but
start, or were you still out in the pen?
I was a starter freshman year for a little bit, and then I
Yeah.
would throw some relief. I just pitched all over, really. So.
Yeah. And Taj, you obviously were out of high school. Now, where are you from exactly?
Stone Mountain, Georgia.
And you went where the first 3 years?
For school?
Yeah.
I went to
You
I went to
moved
Stevenson High School
Okay.
my freshman, sophomore year, then redone
Gotcha, the last two.
my last two, yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you didn't start pitching until you were, what, a senior?
Senior year, yeah.
What made them put you on the mound?
I don't know. I feel like it was just, I couldn't even tell you. Like, I was goofing around that day, too. Like, it was scouts at the cages to see two of my friends. And I was just going up to each scout, shaking their hand, like, introducing myself, but just doing it as a joke, just because I knew they were there for me. And then, like, 15 minutes before the game, my coach was like, you're on the mound today. And then threw 2 innings, and then my mom comes to me right after the game, like, we got some cards. Like they want to talk to you. So I'm like, all right, yeah, let's go. And then, I don't know, after that, I was just pitching.
Yeah.
As often as could be, and then just scouts started coming, and I don't know, I started buying into it. Like my junior year, I was just fighting everybody. I'm not a pitcher, yelling at my coach, like arguing back and forth with him. Like, if you get drafted for this amount of money, you're gonna take it? No, I'm a hitter, and that's all I am.
So you're committed to Carolina as a hitter?
No, as a pitcher. That came a month before graduation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't commit till senior year. I committed to Hillsborough Community College. I forget what month. Signed there on signing day. South Carolina came around, committed there, like a dual commitment.
Yeah.
And then.
Okay.
So were you getting recruited as a hitter at all?
I want to say yeah, but no. Like, I had a mom at Clemson, and I go for a visit. I see the whole campus. I'm excited. I sit down with the coach. I'm like, what's your grades looking like? And I let him know. And he was like, and then he gave a sign, and he was like, I don't know, man. You might be academic liability. I'm
And then South Carolina said, come on, baby.
Yeah.
You don't care.
We'll find a way, baby.
Yeah, we'll find a way to squeeze you in. Yeah.
We'll get you some good tutors that really do their job. You know?
Well, it was funny because I played with, that summer, when we were at East Coast Pro, I played with a couple guys from Redan.
Yeah. Who was that? Kelvin, Cabrera,
Yeah.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of them, yeah.
And I remember that y'all came and played Ringo, which is where I'm from, and they were talking about it. Like, yeah, some guys in the mound throwing 96. And I was like,
Oh, that first round of state playoff?
yeah, I think so. And I was like, everybody I know from Redan's a hitter. Like, I don't know any pitchers from there. And then I remember hearing your name and you got picked. And I was like, dang, I don't even remember playing with him. I had no idea. Honestly, until tonight, I had no idea you didn't start pitching until you were a senior.
Senior, yeah.
But go ahead.
When they put you on the mound that day, like, were you just bumping like 95 out of nowhere? Like, did you know you could throw fast?
I was like 93, but I cleaned up innings, obviously, like
Yeah.
everybody did in high school, but up there, it was just throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Like, there's no mechanics, nothing driven. It's just like if I caught a ball in the outfield, just throwing it home.
Yeah.
So, that was really the only thing. I had nothing to go off of.
So it didn't take long to figure out, like, you might have a future in that. That first outing when scouts were there and you they
It
came
did
to your
take
mom.
long.
It did take? It took you long to
I wasn't
figure it out?
buying into it. I was buying into it a little bit,
Yeah.
but I'm a hitter like that. And then, I don't know, I didn't have anything to go off of. I remember my first pitching lesson. That was when I was like 8. And it was during a game. Like, I made a double play, and my coach was like, all right, you can get third out, go on the mound. Threw the ball to the backstop. He like, just release it later. All right, strike. And that was the last pitching lesson I could really remember. And then hitter. And then that was it.
Yeah.
So
you just kind of picking up on the fly that year?
yeah, I was lying to scouts.
Yeah.
They're like, "What's your routine looking like?" They come for home visits. I was like, "I don't know." Like the Indians would say one thing. I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I do that." And then the next guy would come. I took something from the Indians, gave it to him. He'll give me something, take it in. And then before I knew it, I met 6 people. I had a whole 5-day routine. But I didn't do it at all. I was warming up an hour before the game, and I would sit for an hour.
That's awesome.
And then first inning, I'm throwing
That's pretty
85,
awesome.
and then by the 4th or 5th, it's like, okay, 93, 94. This guy's
That's awesome.
getting better as he goes.
And Colby, where are you from?
Foxworth, Mississippi.
How many people are there?
They ain't many. I don't. About 200 something probably.
You host a Colby White
200.
baseball camp.
They ain't many there, man.
Baseball camp, Colby White. I mean, the whole town's coming. Surely, you're a hero there.
I guess so. Yeah. Well, you gonna have to get people from the other town, or you ain't gonna make no money.
That's true.
Does everybody know you? If you're walking, does everybody know that you're Colby White in your town?
They've probably
I mean-
known that since you were 5, though, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just that was the thing. Is like it really ain't no different. That's what's weird. I'll go other places and people are like getting me to sign stuff and like acting like I'm some kind of baseball guy, and then my
You get
hometown, I'm just a normal guy, which I
Yeah.
like. Like I wouldn't want to go around and like I have weird. It's weird interactions with people to me. Like especially me just being a minor leaguer. It's like why am I signing an autograph? I'm a minor league baseball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
Even
like,
here, I lie here. Like, hey, what are you here for? I'm here on vacation. Like, I was a FedEx guy for so long. Like,
Just out here at restaurants and stuff?
yeah, no, restaurants, I'm like, oh, what are you here for? You're from Georgia. Like, oh, I don't know, I'm just here visiting. Like, literally, I was at the phone store today. It was like, yeah, what are you here for? Vacation. Why'd you choose Port Charlotte? I don't know, man.
That's a good question.
They
They got you, man.
well, what kills me?
Just passing through. Just passing through.
What kills me is like my family voluntarily tells somebody, "Oh, he played at Mississippi State, or he did," and then you have to have the same conversation with this guy that you've had with a
A
different
billion
person,
times.
Yeah.
and it's like it gets so old.
And it gets
That's what I was-
complicated, too. Like, telling everybody the minor league
Yeah,
That's
process.
the,
You
that's
can't.
the
Oh,
most
now it's a
annoying
no-way.
part. Yeah.
You
I thought
can't.
you go straight to the big league. What's going on? Like,
I
nah,
thought
there's
you got
levels. You tell them.
I'll be at church, somebody come up, well, you'll be in AAA this year? I'm like, no, never pitched in anything in minor leagues. Probably won't be there. I was just about to ask you though, Colby, what takes more weight? Saying you played at Mississippi State or saying you played with the Rays?
Probably at Mississippi State.
Yeah, I was about to say. So like that's like the dream growing up there, go to State.
State or Ole Miss or Southern. If you
Yeah.
can't go to either one of those, go to Southern. You know.
And so like when you got the offer from there out of JUCO, that was a no-brainer. That's where you're going.
Yeah. So I grew up wanting to go to Southern because it's like 30 minutes up the road, Southern Miss, and they wouldn't even like come watch me in high school or anything. Like I called the coach, literally called it. I wanted to play there. I wanted them to just see me. In my senior year, I was throwing pretty hard. I was throwing low 90s.
Yeah.
And told me he wouldn't come watch me. And then after my freshman year at Pearl River, they called me in for a visit, and I remember that. I was like, literally a year ago, we had a conversation where I wanted you to come watch me, and you wouldn't watch me. I'm not fitting to leave a year of Pearl River, the only school that offered me, to go to a mid-major school and do whatever. You know, it was like. So yeah, when State offered me, so I obviously didn't want to go to Southern. So and I was wanting State the whole time to offer me. I was like, well, I don't know that they will. And then when they did, first Ole Miss offered me, I was like, crap, I kind of like Ole Miss too. And then I got there and I was like, these some rich people, man. I ain't really, I don't fit that puzzle too well.
You didn't fit in the Grove, huh?
No. So when State offered, it was like, yeah, this is my place. So.
You felt at home there.
Yeah, and we had practice there. At my junior college, stopped by and practice on the way to a game one time.
So you picked up the phone and called Southern Miss's coach. They would come see you.
Yeah, just basically said, what did he tell me? Basically said that they don't really get a lot of kids with not much experience playing anywhere other than 3A. So I went to a 3A high school.
Yeah.
He was basically trying to say I hadn't played against any competition to go to Pearl River. I was like, dude, you could have just came and watched me. I'm not saying come in
stuff
for
plays.
a visit.
Stuff play. It don't matter who you're playing.
So
Stuff is gonna play. That's funny though. Did you get a pitch against him?
yeah, so I threw a Friday night against him in the 8th. Punched out 2 and then got that 3-0 guy pop up. It was a pretty good day. But I had some intensity about me.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet you're ready to rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that your closest to your hometown, Southern?
Mm-hmm.
That's sick.
So I don't know how you remember that though. Like my last outing, I couldn't tell you
Really?
the outs that happened. No.
I can remember big ones. Like I can't remember. Like I can remember getting 2 back-to-back bombs off them against y'all.
Yeah.
But if it's just like, if it's something that I really was wanting to do well with, I'll remember it.
Yeah.
But like if it's something like just another day, like we play a midweek somewhere, I can't tell you.
Yeah, like even
Yeah.
hitters. Like people will talk about hitters. I don't know. Oh, you faced them.
So you're just.
Yeah, I'm like that too. I don't
Yeah.
like. We played. I remember like at bats in like the state championship. Other than that, like I don't.
No.
Really?
Even
I
in
remember-
pro
Like
ball,
I don't remember facing pitchers.
like pro ball. You could ask me an outing from Charleston or Beach. I couldn't tell you.
No idea.
yeah.
I could tell you maybe.
You think it's because you're just so locked in on what you're doing, you're not really thinking about who's in the box, and
Yeah,
you're just kind of.
I would say so because I'm not thinking of pitching to that hitter like, oh, he's a lefty, I'm
Right.
throwing this, or he's a big guy, you know.
Right.
I feel like I was thinking like when you're 8 years old, this guy's gonna hit a bomb. He's like the biggest 8-year-old I've seen, but I don't know. As I got older, I just thought, I just look at the catcher. I feel like I don't even look at the hitters that come in.
Yeah, that was a big thing when I went to college. Was you have the scouting reports on Thursdays, and you get like, all right, this is the guy we got to circle, and we're not gonna pitch to him in this scenario, blah blah blah. He's really good on changeups, but at the same time, he's never seen my changeup.
Right? You can't say
no,
your stuff.
right.
He hasn't faced it yet. You know.
Yeah, he hadn't seen mine. That's what I always
Yeah.
thought. And so, like, I like looking at the scouting report just to see, like, kind of names and what they look like in the box. That's why I would watch film in college, just to see them in the box so I could know what they looked like when they stepped up, kind of visualize throwing to them and stuff. But, like, the scouting report was never that important to me when I was on the mound. So, like, I can see where you're coming from, just kind of,
Just
they
throwing
can't hit my
shots.
stuff,
Yeah.
So, like, I'm just going to go at them. But that's crazy. I can remember pretty much every pitch. I don't know. I've just always been like that. So I don't know what it is, but yeah, I can probably run down.
Even hitters though, like you get some hitters that will face like you get a guy who will go up in against any of you three and like feel comfortable, but then like say I didn't feel comfortable in the box against you guys, I'd feel really comfortable in the box against 3 other guys that guy who's comfortable with you guys is
Yeah, it's
uncomfortable
tough to
with.
translate. It's tough. So you're saying it's tough to translate like this hitter hits this pitch well.
Yeah, it's-
when
A scouting
everybody's throwing
report,
a
it's the
different
same. Like I'll read a scouting report on a pitcher, and sometimes like that day their 2 seams working, and the scouting report was saying like they're like 90% sliders, and then their sliders not working that day. So like that scouting report goes out the door.
Yeah, like let's say you face 3 righties in a row, and you've got a hot zone on the inside.
Yeah.
Like, then you face a lefty throwing a 2-seam at that spot. It's a little different than a righty 4-seam coming from that side and a lefty 2-seam coming in.
Yeah, exactly.
Even seeing scouting reports, it's like, oh, don't throw him a changeup. That could be your best pitch.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
like pitching away from your strongest
Yeah.
to
But
You
it's
gotta take
kind of-
everything with a grain of salt. With
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like the thing though. If you throw a pitch on a scout report that says "don't throw it," and your cause are swollen when you throw it, and he shits on it, and you're like,
Yeah.
and the scout report said not to do it. It's gonna be done.
You do feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
I was like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
That's like, I was actually telling you a story about that when we were at state when I was facing your boy Tanner, and I was throwing hard that day, and I threw him a changeup. He swung right through, and I was like, oh, I can throw this again. Threw it again, clipped it, hit a double. I was like, dang. I'd shake off my coach. I'd wiped off the changeup. I got back in the dugout, and he was like, what are you doing? I was like, well, he just looked horrible on the first one, so I threw him another one.
Yeah.
He said he was not catching up to your fastball. He said, I just called that to get him off of it. I was like, that makes sense. Sometimes it helps,
Ego.
but
Sometimes your ego.
hey, but if he'd have swung through it, he wouldn't have said nothing to me. I came in. I was going to tell a story about when we played y'all, because Colby came in, you pitched Saturday and Sunday, right?
Yep.
And the scoreboard read 100 every time you pitched. I was like, who is this guy? Like, he's just bumping 100 on the scoreboard. And I remember I got here the first day, and our lockers were pretty close to each other, and you came up and introduced yourself and stuff, and was like, man, how you throw so hard? And I said, what was your name? He said, Colby White. And I was like, you were throwing 100 against us. Like, what are you talking about?
That was just a big weekend, man.
Yeah,
It was like 14,000 there. It was like
It was a big
jittery as can be. I'm like,
That's crazy that you go from college with that many fans. I mean,
Exactly.
Charleston was good, but like Princeton.
Even GCL, like, you go to the
Yeah.
back. We're the fans. Like I'm back
Yeah.
there charting,
Yeah.
me and 6 other guys. Like,
If you ain't cheering in the
Yeah.
dugout, there's nothing there.
yeah, I ain't paying attention. Like he's helping me out. Like other teammates, like, what'd you get on that? You know, what's the velo? And we're just goofing back there.
Like
Snaps
our
and
the
all.
biggest crowds we've done or like played in front was like probably the most like 7,000 maybe.
Charleston?
Which is
In
which is
Charleston,
a lot.
yeah, that was nice though. Thursday.
Yeah, those
yeah,
were
There's
crazy.
a party going on up there.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, that line.
Music DJ.
Well,
We'd be like, dang, we'd be like, dang, ain't nobody here. In the 4th inning, everybody sat down, and you're like, they were
They
in
were on-
line.
the
They were in
music's
line.
still going.
They were hammered over there.
There's a DJ.
They're
playing.
pregame and everything.
Yeah, they were in line. That's funny though, because you're right. The college game is so much different than what we play now. Would you agree?
Yeah.
What do you think the biggest difference is?
In college, there ain't nobody got to get you amped up to pitch. Here, you got to get yourself amped up.
Yeah, you kind of just ride the emotions of the game.
Yeah.
It's just, do you feel like there's just so much more on every pitch in the college
Yeah.
game? It's just like
Yeah.
every pitch you throw, there's so much weight.
It's like your games matter too, though. You know?
Yeah.
Like you guys want to win. I feel like minor leagues, you want to win, but you're here to develop. so-
Well, and like the coaching staff, their job isn't to win and lose.
Yeah.
Like they want to win, and that's their goal. But their goal is to get you to the big leagues.
Yep.
In
That-
college,
So, like with that slider, that you know, they
Right.
were like, don't throw that, but he needed that.
in college, they
Yeah.
probably weren't telling you to throw sliders. You're just blowing fastballs. About
Yeah.
people. Like,
Yeah.
hey,
If they started
go
hitting the
ahead.
heater, I'm out of there.
Yeah.
They go with somebody else. You know? Here, they'll let you wear it a little bit. You
And I
know?
look at that too. I look at a college pitch count. Like they are riding this guy. It's like 60-something
You
pitches
get
in
into
the
the World
third.
Series, they're playing. You guys throwing
Yeah.
110 pitches.
But that's like early on. They'll be like
Yeah.
75 in the third. Okay, keep him out there. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, and it's like there's no long, like people, you know, I've heard in pro ball, always had a long inning, throwing this many pitches an inning. I have never even thought of that in college because that has never happened.
They weren't pulling Ethan Small off the mound in the 60
No, he
anyway.
throw 40 pitches in a second until he gets to 110. He's still in there.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's what I mean. I like that part of it. Like I love that kind of being the horse. I kind of take pride in that. But you have to know where you're committing. Like I would tell anybody that. Like you have to know, because they tell you a lot. Like you see a coach on a recruiting visit and you go to play for them. It's different. Like
Yeah.
they're a different person.
Yeah.
So you have to talk to the people there, and you got to know who you're committing to, because that's a real thing. Like that they can ride you and put you in bad situations, but you know if you trust the guys and that you commit to, it makes it a whole lot easier, because you just want to go somewhere you're gonna be protected.
Right.
Because as athletes, like you're in the middle of a game, you don't want to come out,
Nah, I want my innings. Yeah.
but it's the coach's job to say, hey man, like you're done. You need to go sit down, no matter what you say.
right.
So
Mhm.
that is a big thing in college. I've always told people to watch. But I wanted to go back to Charleston a little bit because we had some good times there, and I was thinking about earlier today, Colby, when our bus broke down.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What we found over on the side of the road. What did we find?
Oh, yeah. So they was a old rubber pecker on the road.
It was like a pencil top eraser.
It was a
It was
pecker.
dang sure in the shape of a pecker. It had balls and a shaft.
So I put it on the dashboard of the bus driver's bus.
And it was still there 2 days later when we got back on the bus. It was still, so you never saw it.
That the poo bus or whatever we called it.
Oh, yeah.
It was
they
like
did
the
stink.
bus. It had to be the bus driver though.
I had to.
Nobody else is doing that.
That's like an unwritten rule.
I think he thought it was funny too. He's the only one who had a window up there by his seat. Everybody else had to wear it, like just circulating
Yeah, that's
through
an
the bus.
unwritten rule. You
And
do
those are
not
like-
poop on the bus.
You didn't
Four
right
hours.
there hollering, begging for mercy.
4 hours
Who
bus
done
ride,
this?
yeah.
If you poop on the bus, you better have food poisoning.
Like
You
3
better have
hours.
food along with you.
Yeah.
And it broke down and no air was on it, so it just kept marinating. with heat.
Every time we got back on there from the game, it smelled worse. We were like,
Like, I think
there's
he did
been
that
one
as a
person
joke.
on this bus.
Yeah, he did it to be funny.
All these
like,
crumbs
yeah.
all in the bottom. Where the hell
Well, the
this come
funniest
from?
part about when that bus broke down, I don't know if you remember. Were you on that bus?
Nah, I was the bus coming to pick you guys up.
We took 3, and we were on the last one. Me and Colby were sitting back there, and the bus is broken down. We're just sitting on the side of the road. We're all hanging on there. I'm watching out the window a little bit. The bus driver was he's looking down there. He's kicking the tire a little bit. Then he reaches way up in the bus and he pulls out a roll of duct tape. I'm like, all right, boys, time to get off. We're gonna be here a while.
Ain't nothing with this Greyhound here gonna be fixed with no duct tape.
You can fix most stuff with duct tape.
And
You
it was
can't
only
fix it
his
with
bus
stuff.
too, though.
Yeah.
The other guy's bus is fine. That guy, like,
I just steam, bunch of
Yeah,
steam
work.
coming out the back of it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. But
No, that was BG when the steam happened.
I was,
What happened with that one? It just broke down.
It
didn't
I
it?
wasn't there.
No, I'm talking about the one in
Oh,
Charleston.
I never heard what happened to it. We just stopped moving.
Bro, we broke down on a 14-hour bus ride
Mm.
in BG, and it was steam coming off this thing. And that man was ripping a heater sitting there playing mechanic. I was like, dog, it's like 1 in the morning. We need to get some sleep. We got a game tomorrow.
every stop we made, ripping heaters.
Yeah.
That didn't matter. The other guy was drinking like 15 Cokes on the bus
That's probably the
ride.
only thing that gets you through one of those. But, I mean, imagine driving a bus. That'd be brutal.
Oh, yeah.
That wouldn't be a whole lot of fun.
Those 14-hour rides. That travel day for me, I drove, when I found out I got moved up, 9 hours to BG, slept for like 4 hours, hour ride to the nearest airport, hour and a half flight to Philadelphia, hour Uber to Delaware, stayed for 2 days, 14-hour bus ride back to BG.
Lord, have
Oh,
mercy.
yeah, I was in
I
that.
just gagged.
Did you have all your luggage with you?
Yeah, I packed my car up, drove it down to BG, packed a small bag, got on the plane and everything like that.
That was Wilmington.
That was at the
Wilmington
Nationals?
Blue
Delaware.
Rocks.
Yeah.
I was there when you got called up, wasn't I?
Then
Yeah.
you got called up when we got back, didn't we?
Yeah, I watched the sunset that night, and it rise the next morning on that bus, and then packed my stuff in BG for it took like an hour to do it. Then drove 5.5 hours to Montgomery. I was like, this has been a long couple hours.
We're traveling.
Hey, you were happy to head back down south, though, weren't
I was
you?
grinning.
It was
Like, I don't know how I didn't sleep right now.
You were riding that adrenaline back to Montgomery.
Yeah, I was ready to get down south where the air's a little thicker, you know.
That's good stuff. What was your shortest stint there? You said three weeks.
No, Montgomery was the shortest, yeah.
That's cool. Taj, were you, because you were dominating for a while in Charleston. Like, you'd shown that you were absolutely ahead of that group.
We were calling that he was gonna get caught up for about a month before.
Well, you
got caught up.
already got back here by the time
Yeah.
you did, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, like every outing, like Taj, 5 innings, no runs, 10 Ks. I'm like, Lord have mercy. These kids are getting bullied.
That was early on.
Was there any frustration set in a little bit?
No. I
You
didn't
just
care.
chill?
I just like be where your feet are, you know?
Yeah.
Like you look for the next step, okay, that's fine, but if you're not dominating where you are, then I don't know, why do you feel like you deserve to go?
Yeah, not everybody can be Colby, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, and then got the bell rung as soon as I got to BG.
No, that happened to me too. My first outing, two-run bombs.
It's like them
Yeah.
dudes would rather die than miss a heater that come out of my hand. It's like, you're early on 98. How in the world is this happening? This was my best heater. And I started flipping splitters and sliders in there, and they were just buckling. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, that's all this is.
Yeah, Mason. You weren't riding the fast bike, you were in Charleston, huh?
Nah.
So would you, I guess, like, that probably helped your development a lot, though, right? When you saw, like, when you were able to use that. And really, because in Charleston, it was different because you were overpowering those guys with the fastball. So if you did use something else, it's like you were helping them.
Just riding their back pedal.
Right. So you were probably like, once you got there and you saw the slider working, the splitter working, you're like, all right, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like those pitches were better against better hitters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what's weird is, like, you got a pitch that you don't think is very good because hitters that you don't think are closer to the big league, and then it's like the pitch got better with the same movement just from what the hitter's done,
Yeah.
and you're sitting there thinking, how in the world is this even happening?
Yeah.
This thing was getting shelled in low A, and it looks like, but it was just, they were so sold out. I mean, when you hear guys grunting, swinging at your fastball, and hitting it 460 foot right field, it's like, yeah, he was not missing that. And then next time he comes up, you throw him 3 splitters, he just watches it, don't even swing, and it's like,
Yeah.
ain't too hard to figure out what's going on here.
I mean, you can speak as a hitter. You're facing Colby, who's throwing 98. You got to pick something.
That's the day when you look at the scouting report and you do. Well, and the only information they probably had was from Charleston, and you legitimately were throwing 95% fastballs.
Yeah.
I'm 98% fastballs.
Yeah.
So they probably were just like, all right, like his strikeout numbers are really high. He's throwing all fastballs. You literally cannot miss the heater. That's literally what they were thinking, and then you make that small adjustment, and you only get to see you for an inning max too. Like, did you go 2 innings at all, really?
When I
Yeah,
got there,
sometimes
when the bullpen thin when I got there, It's like
Yeah, it
6
was
of you
low.
guys.
Yeah, but you're not going through a
Yeah.
lineup twice. You're
No,
facing a guy
yeah.
once, so you're picking one pitch, and you're like, all right, if he throws it, I cannot miss this.
Sure,
And-
but-
and
A lot of
with
times I
you,
didn't
you're
miss
gonna,
it.
Yeah.
and with you got to pick the heater because
Yeah.
it's such a dominant pitch. If I'm not sitting on that heater, you're gonna you dominate.
Yeah.
So you got to pick the heater. So
That's what's funny though about like developing pitches though, because you have to throw it to make it better. Like I remember GCL, Al told me you gotta throw the changeup, Taj. Threw it first pitch, bam, bam. I come back in, it's like not the first pitch, it's the BB.
What you mean?
Alright, okay, cool. And then I get to Charleston, beat a guy with a fastball. I'm like, it's a good time to throw a changeup, bam, off the scoreboard. I'm like, well, now I know you gotta read the swings also. Like, anytime
That's
you
the
take it, you
absolute
gotta
worst,
throw it.
dude. Like when you execute a pitch and you know it's a good pitch and they hit it, it's like, that kind of sucks. 'Cause I feel like I just got alpha a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
When you do something like that and you know you threw the wrong pitch and they hit it, that is the most frustrating thing ever as a pitcher. I don't know if y'all feel that way, but I hate it.
But
I hate, like, when you make a mistake and gets hit, like, yeah, that sucks too. But when you know if I'd have thrown this pitch there instead of this one and you don't get them out, that's
Right.
when it sucks.
Yeah.
That's when I hate it the most. And when we were in Charleston, I would always come out of the bullpen on my day that I didn't start. RC let me. I like to go hang out, talk to Colby and the boys down there.
that's the best spot to be though. I don't like being in the dugout.
Well, these guys come in all pissed off. And
after that bad,
Yeah,
I want to talk
stressed,
to
they're all
everything like that.
they're all stressed out.
yeah,
and stuff.
wisely checking his helmet.
Completely
It's a liability.
different
It's a
Yeah.
liability being in the same
Tensions are,
dugout as
tensions
wisely.
are high.
Rear ends ain't even.
Yeah.
You couldn't stick a BB in it.
The dugout's the best spot to be.
I'm like, I don't need to be daggone with all this during the game. I need to go down to the bullpen. And RC didn't care, so I went down there and hung out. I mean, that was the funnest part of the game. But best bullpen story. With no names. We don't have to do that. But we had a guy who didn't have it that night, and it was spray fest. And I didn't really know what was going on. Me and Colby were sitting there, and we were kind of watching this happen, and he was kind of throwing balls to the backstop. And we're like, dang it, boy. So RC comes down there, asks him a few questions, and he's like, I just saw him shake his head no. Like, no. He goes and sits down. So I'm all right, he's not having it today. RC turns around. Who did he call for Moss, right?
Yeah.
He called for Moss, and Moss wasn't down there.
He was on the commode, I believe.
Yeah. He was in a bathroom break. So he calls the next guy up. He's like, all right, you're in. He was passed out to sleep.
What was funny, this man had a hoodie on and some
With the
big old
Ray-Ban,
thick
the
glasses.
Ray-
Yeah.
The Ray-Ban.
That's some sunglasses, and it's dark, and he's snoring. And I was like, he's in the ball game. He was like, such and such is in the ball game. And I'm like, dude, he don't hear it. He's asleep. He's asleep. I remember bumping him, and he was like, what? And then, I mean, sound asleep, snoring, like drooling and stuff, right? Like, he didn't just doze off in church. This man was in a bed 8 hours in, right?
That's what he can sleep forever though.
He
Like,
sleep
you know,
Hood on.
if
Pull.
you know
It
him,
was
he
just like
sleeps
his
forever.
glasses showing. Just.
He can sleep
Knocked
forever.
out.
That's crazy.
And then what do you do when you got called
My
up?
boy stood up. He had all kind of stuff on him. He always carried Skittles and stuff like that. And he would have them in his back pocket, like loose. Like where he just grab them out of there and put in his stuff. Well, this man pulls a bunch of stuff out of his pocket with some Skittles. And he's like shifting through them and stuff. And all of a sudden I see some peanuts in there. I'm like, where the hell these peanuts come from?
And keep in mind, he's in the game. Like, there's an out in the inning. 2 outs later, he's in the game. And he's sitting here, like, taking his time, taking stuff out of his pocket, taking his sweatshirt off. We're like, hey, man, you need to go. Like, best outing you threw all year.
Yeah, I know. Some of them bangers out there. Yeah, this guy was asleep 7 minutes ago. He's in the ball. Like, I would rip my body in half if I was asleep trying to get up and start. I don't know how he done it.
Best outing through all year. That's the key, maybe. They say roll my bed out there to the bullpen. let him sleep and call him in.
Snoring.
Yeah.
And he was mad that we woke him up. I'm like, where are you in the ball game? I guess he didn't believe us. I don't know. RC standing right there, don't even know what happened.
Yeah. He's like, all right, you're in.
You remember the cutoff story? I wish we had a clip of that.
What was it?
Backing up third.
Oh.
Picture that.
That was awesome.
You gotta find a clip, Matt, if we can.
We do need to add a clip.
I feel like those stories make minor leagues bearable, though. You know.
Oh yeah,
It's-
that's the fun part.
I
So
just
that
felt
the
like-
story that Colby's talking about, there was one of our pictures. It was Stinson.
Yeah.
It was
I didn't think
Stinson.
we was using names.
Well, he don't care about this. This ain't even that bad. He was backing up. He gave up what, the double down right field or something. They were double cutting to third. He comes flying in, and it gets past third, and he dives. So he lays out going to back it up, and he missed it, right?
He missed it, and you see a big cloud of dust. And then he runs to the ball.
It was against Columbia. I think
At
was
Charleston?
Was it Columbia? It was at Columbia or at Charleston? I think it was Charleston.
It was at Charleston.
Yeah.
What was funny though is we're in a bullpen and we just see the angle of the ball. We're like, yeah, that's finna plate him right there. And then all of a sudden, this dude comes out of nowhere and just flies, hits the ground and starts flipping. He's a big old dude. And then all of a sudden, the ball goes rolling off. He runs over there and drop slides, picks the ball up, and it's like we practiced in spring training. I'm like, dude, you didn't have to do that. He was not going home.
That was funny. Man, that was good
Lord, that
stuff.
was, and dust was everywhere.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Charleston is a fun place to play. That needs to be like a AAA stadium.
I feel like that's a cool introduction to pro ball, though. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. AAA is good.
Especially when you got a load of ash clowns. And we had plenty of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that game. I think I told a story on this pod before. The kid, because they changed those rules in low A for pitchers where you can only step off twice during that bat, and it was a balk.
Yeah.
That one dude balked in a runner from first to home. Y'all remember that?
Yeah, it was Edberto.
He had picked off twice, and then it was Heriberto at
Because
first.
he gets a
He
billion
gets a
feet off the
huge
base.
lead.
Yeah.
After two pickoffs, he'd get a huge lead, knowing he couldn't pick off again, or it's a balk. So he'd throw over there, Heriberto take second, balk. And then the dude did it again, like mistakenly. Inside move, took him to third. So he's all flustered.
Yeah, because you think it resets.
Yeah, no, it's the
After
same
the
batter. You can
yeah.
only do it twice, the same batter. So Roberto's at third. The guy gets on the mound to wind up, and the coach's like, no, stretch. Steps off, boom, send him home.
He got put added to the earn run average.
he got balked in from first. That was good stuff.
And we're giggling like hyenas in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. What an idiot.
That's tough. You know he was flustered after the second balk, too. He was like, I ain't doing this again.
Yeah, step off.
Step off. Coach
yeah.
says, yeah, the stretch. That's a
And
really...
coach had to have remembered that, though. You can't.
Well, it was just a
so
weird
much,
rule.
yeah.
Like, it made no sense, really. Like that didn't speed up the game at all.
It slowed it down.
Yeah, all it did was
I'm
slow
holding
down.
the
He
ball
balked for 3
longer,
bases.
yeah,
No pitch
Made
was
it
thrown.
easy to steal bases.
Yeah.
Guys didn't want to pick off.
Yeah.
Or how about them balls and strikes? It's like, that's a ball. The guy balled it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sitting here looking at it, pal. It's a strike. You're looking at track, man.
The funny thing is, I get to BG and I'm looking at the iPad to see the strikes and balls. Like, no, you guys down there got it taken away from us because like everybody will argue with the umpire. Like, that's a
Really? Y'all
strike.
can't see it, BG?
Nah, they took it away.
So in Charleston, for those who don't know, we had a track man in the dugout, like an iPad. And
I
we
was
could-
first team all RU.
Yeah. I mean, and you could see if it was a ball or a strike.
I didn't need to see it. I knew.
Yeah, right. There was plenty of times y'all came in there, that was way off, and it was this far inside the plate.
Not me.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, you just never messed up. And yeah, the umpire, Blake, our manager, would be like, "Hey, that's a strike." Umpire's like, "Nope, it was off."
Yeah.
Blake's like, "No, it wasn't. I see it right here."
I'm looking at it right here, buddy. It's like the guy sitting there looking at the screen. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess I did blow that one.
that would suck to be an umpire though. With that
No,
thing right there.
we had one of the umpires there. He was cool. Like he was one of the better ones. I forget what his name was, but there was one where I got screwed.
Well, everyone was that day, and you took all offense. to it.
No. This is different time. And he blew this call, and I go out there for my next at bat, and it's a pitching change. And he looked at me and goes, "Hey, did you check the iPad after that last one? 3-2 count. So I would have been on first. It would have been a walk." And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Did I screw you?" I said, "Yeah." I go, "It's this far off." He goes, my bad. I was like, "I don't care. Just make the right call this time."
I always thought
I
it
was
was
like,
funny.
should have been a walk.
Like when hitters are like they strike out or something, they get back mad about the pitch. and they look at the iPad, and it's a strike, and they're like, they come in mad, they look at it.
They get
Wisely getting more mad. Wisely come in and look at it. Of course it's a strike. I suck. Like, Wisely. Relax,
That was one of
dude.
the things when you were pitching, you think it was a strike. You're like, God, that was a strike. And you look over the dugout, nobody really made a reaction. You're like, all right, maybe it wasn't.
That's
about right.
hitting. You take a pitch, and if you heard everybody yell, you look over at the dugout. If you heard everybody yelling, it was a ball. Then you knew, okay, good take.
You're like, ah.
But you look over. You look over. I would have Curtis in there, and I'd look at him, and he'd be like, and I'd be like, all right, it was a strike.
Good call, good call.
Yeah.
Boy, Curry.
All right, back on a serious note though. So like both of y'all had unbelievable years. You know, you're both pitcher of the years, starter, reliever. Is there any pressure like going into this year of like wanting to repeat that? Like obviously you want to, but do you feel any pressure to do it?
No, not really, no.
Yeah, just kind of keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, that was last year. I'd be better, but I don't
Yeah.
want to repeat it, you know?
Yeah, I think that's a good way of looking at it. Like, no matter how good your numbers are, you can always improve.
Yeah.
And like Colby, you're at a point now where you finish in AAA. It's only one more place to go up. You know, does that ever like hit you? Like if I move up again, I'm there.
No, it hadn't been like I don't know, like as a kid, you sit there and think about like a big travel ball tournament or something. You got that feeling. I really hadn't really had that feeling of thinking like, but I'm sure when it happens, I ain't gonna be able to hold like it'd be, but yeah, I mean, to me, it's just like trying to get better and be more consistent. Just try to get more consistent every time out.
Yeah. Was there something specific y'all worked on this off season for you?
I don't know, just building up that routine I had last year. Just finding that, sticking to it, and maybe make some tweaks in it.
So you kind of found your routine last year.
Yeah.
For the first time, you would say.
Yeah, for the throwing program, pregame stretch, bullpens,
Yeah.
in between, like all that was just caution to the wind. Now I can actually
Yeah.
have something solidified.
And I'm sure that probably didn't. Because, routine is like, for a pitcher, that's like the biggest thing. Because that's what you know is a constant. Like, you don't know what the weather's going to be when you pitch. You don't know what the strike zone's going to be, all that.
Right.
But you know you're going to get your routine in, and you know how you're going to feel when you step up there.
Especially at the starter. Because, I
Yeah.
mean, like as a reliever, you get, multiple outings a series, but a starter,
You don't
get
really have
your
time
one.
for a routine. It's a bullpen guy, dude.
Yeah. A starter, you get your one. So,
Yeah.
each day, that's your work day. Like, your catch play, that's all you're going to get for that day. So, make it count. Figure out what you want to do. Next day, bullpen, whatever. And then once you get your start day, that's cool. Now you can have time to do it, but after that, you got another week.
Right. So, was that something you kind of just figured out yourself along the
Yeah.
way? Did you have some help going into it, or what?
So for pregame stuff, I had some help coaches
Yeah.
and stuff, but for
Kind of picking stuff up here and there.
everything else mentality coaches, mechanics coaches, but for my toss day, I figured that out low intent, and then games I'll just pick it up.
So you're low intent all week.
Yeah.
Even bullpen?
Bullpen, yeah. I was throwing 82 mile per hour fastball one time, and who was the White Sox affiliate for low? Was that Kannapolis?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I threw an 82 mile per hour fastball the whole bullpen. They're like, "What's wrong? How you feeling?" I'm good. I just I'm not in for it, you know?
Save your bullets.
Yeah, I'm just getting off the mound and work that angle, and I'm good.
And for you, Colby, how long would it take for you not to pitch in a game for you to want to get off the mound and get some mound reps throughout the week?
For me, is if I go longer than 3 days, it won't feel like second nature when I get back on the slope. So it's try to stay on, get on it every 3 days. If it's more than 3 days, kind of messed up. And then
So let's say you go 3 days you don't pitch, knowing you have a chance to go in that night. Does that affect anything, or are you still going to get off the mound and throw a few that day?
I'll probably just do a little short box or something like that.
Yeah, just to feel
45.
the slow.
Yeah, just get the ball down because you play catch and everything's chest high,
Right.
and then it's just a different angle, So
Yeah. And then throughout the week, do you have kind of a routine? Because I know I've seen you throw. You're 90 feet usually every day.
yeah.
Just kind of toss.
For me, I feel like with my catch play, I'm like him. I try to stay light because I'm not a guy that can throw hard every day like some guys and feel good when I go out there. Which adrenaline's going to take over, but I want to have my best fastball. If I can throw 96, I want to have 96.
Right.
Or whatever, be as close to. I know that obviously you're going to have days where it's not, but and then my thing is trying to have as realistic of my body. Like, I don't like playing catch and my hands moving different than they move on the mound. Or like, so I try to have that all the same at a lower intent, and then and just make sure I feel good. Biggest thing, and go out there with a mentality and just see what happens.
What do you think the hardest thing is about coming out of the bullpen? Whether it be routine or how many outings you're throwing a week, what do you think it is?
Like
I guess
the
something
time,
that people wouldn't think about.
I'd say probably the time. Like you, like something quick happens and you got to be ready. Which I mean, I guess people think about that, but what you don't really think about is it still takes relievers a little bit of time to get ready too.
Right.
But you got to be so efficient. And then I tell you what's the hardest thing. This I didn't think about this to begin with, but when they get you up and get you hot, and then say something happens, a pitch count, he gets out of the inning, or a pitch count gets back where it needs to be, or whatever, over a couple batters, and then they say, "Oh, he's about to go another one."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Crap! I just got hot,
Yeah.
and then I'm about to get stiff." And then that's why when I started picking up plyos, I started feeling a lot better, because I'll throw some plyos and just keep it light, more light moving, keep some blood in it, so I don't get. Because my big thing is I get stiff. Like, I don't like up downs, sitting in the dugout and stuff. I hate that. And that, like, you know, they call it dry hump or whatever. But
Yeah. That's the thing that I think a lot of people don't think about is you're showing up to the park every day knowing that you could pitch. Like, there's very few days where it's like, hey, you're not going to pitch today. Like, maybe you throw 2 innings the day before. If you throw one, like, there's a chance you pitch again today. So is that ever, like, because that's a lot of games throughout the year. Does that ever kind of wear you out a little bit mentally?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Like, physically, I started realizing a lot of physical stuff about that. Like, we're a reliever. We're not throwing a lot of pitches. We're not really getting. You get sore over the course of a couple of days or whatever, but mentally, you get so out of it, and you go in there and make a bad pitch just because you wasn't sitting there. Your mind wasn't in it like it was in, you know, the first week of the series or the season, I should say. But it's like, I don't know. That's me.
Well, y'all know there's a difference. Like, not all pitch counts the same. You throw 20 pitches in the first inning and 20 pitches in the sixth inning. What's more stressful? That sixth inning, because you know, like, hey, this might be my last inning. A guy gets the second, you're like, all right, I got to bear down right here.
Right.
Or, you know, guys get in scoring position. Those pitches get way more stressful then. So, like, it's tough to, like, evaluate it. Like, when we're talking about in college, you're throwing 110 pitches. Those could be the easiest 110 pitches you throw all year, and you're not even that sore afterwards. You could throw, like, for a reliever, I mean, you could throw 25 pitches, high intensity, come in with the bases loaded, and you're extremely sore the next day. Like, it's absolutely different. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
on your arm, stressful pitches, like, kind of determines your soreness a lot of the time. So I feel like a lot of people don't get that. We're talking about pitch counts and stuff, because there's not really a set pitch count in my opinion. I feel like it's like you got to wait
For like an outing or an
Stressful.
inning?
either one for an outing. You know, you could throw 60 pitches an outing and get 15 outs and feel great.
Right.
You know, but if you're stressing, if you're walking guys, you're in big pitches, like that 60 turns into what feels like 100 quick, because it's just so high intensity.
Yeah, it's like it's hard to evaluate how many of those pitches are your absolute best pitches.
Right.
Like, I have everything on the line here. This is all I have. And you start doing that 15 times in a row, and it's like, well, I kind of feel a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like you coast some, everything's running smooth. You're just getting over a 0 slider or 0 fastball, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference in that. But, I mean, you got anything else? Wrapped up?
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate y'all coming on. I'm sure we'll get y'all back on at some point throughout the year. But best of luck to y'all. Obviously, we'll be keeping up because we're in the same org. But I guess just pick up where you left off.
Oh, yeah.